Hello friends, in this lecture we will know about Boolean operations. So we can find this command for Boolean operation. I go to View tab, go to Toolbar, and we can find Boolean operations. I make a check on this, and now the tab for Boolean operation is highlighting. In the Boolean we have some options such as adding the geometry, removing the material or intersecting, and then we have some more type of Boolean like union trim, remove lump. We can also find this Boolean command. I go to insert and go to Boolean operations, and we can find all the commands. To understand this Boolean, I go to file, click on open, and let's say I will start with intersect. So I select this intersect part file and open. In this part file we can see we have created three bodies. So we have pad 1, body 1, that is pad 2, and body 2, that is pad 3. So let's zoom in onto this, and now we are going to create the intersect of them. So intersection means finding out the common material between two geometries. Geometries can be more than two. So I go to intersect from here. First of all we need to select the body, and let's say I select this body 2, and then it will show intersect 2. So part body means this complete body. So when I take the mouse to this model tree, it will show the part 1. So this is part body. I click OK, and now we can see in the geometry this is the common material between body 2 and the part body. And we can see in this model tree there is intersection between body 2 and body 1. So we can go to this intersection, intersect, right click, and then delete, and then click on delete. We can also create the intersection from this model tree. I go to this body 2, make a right click, body 2, and then go to intersect. And this time I will select body 1 as the 2 body. So select body 1 for the second reference. And now we can see body 1 is highlighting when I take the mouse onto this body 1. Click here and click OK. And this time it will show the common material between body 1 and body 2. And we can see the intersect command. So in this way we can create the intersect. In this lecture we will continue with Boolean operations, and we will know how to add multiple geometries. So to understand this, I go to file and click on open, and I open this file, that is add, and click on open. In this file we can see we have three geometries. This geometry is pad 1, and then we have pad 2. So this is pad 2 and this is pad 3. So all these geometry are separate geometries. So if we want to merge them into a single geometries, we need to use the add command. So I go to Boolean operations and click on add. In this we need to select two bodies. So I select body 1 and then I select body 2. I want to merge body 1 and body 2 and click on OK. And now we can see in this model tree a Boolean operation add has been included, and we can see body 1 and body 2. So body 1 and body 2 are the part of this add operation. Similarly we can also create this complete body as a single body. So I go to add, right click and delete. Click OK. We can also use this Boolean operation from here. Click on this body, right click, and then go to add. And then I select this pad 2 and then pad 1. Okay, in this time it will select this complete body and click OK. Now this complete geometry is inside this add feature. Hello friends, in this lecture we will know about subtract feature in the Boolean operations. Subtract feature is used to remove the material from a body. So I go to file and click on open, and I select this file, that is remove, and click on open. Now in this file I want to remove the material from this body, and I want to remove this cylinder. So if I go to the model tree, we can see pad 1 is this body 1 and the pad 2 is this cylinder part. So we need to remove the material. For this I go to Boolean operations and then go to remove. In this remove we have two options, remove from. So I select this cylinder. So this complete body 1 will be selected from where material will be removed, and this part body will be the body of which material will be removed. So I click OK, and now we can see a hole has been created. So in this way we can remove the material. In this lecture we will know about union trim. We can find this union trim in the Boolean operations. This is union trim. To understand this, I go to File and click on Open, and I open this file, that is union trim, and click on Open. In this file we can see we have two bodies. So we have created these bodies by using pad 1 and then pad 2. Now to create a trim of them, I go to union trim, and then we need to select the bodies. So I select this body 2 as the reference, click on this body 2, and now we can see these bodies are highlighting and another window will open. In this dialog window, first thing it is showing trim. So we have select body 2 as the trimming object, and then we have two more options, face to remove and face to keep. So face to remove means the body from where the face will be removed, and face to keep means which face we want to keep. So let's say I go to this face to remove, I select this face, this pink color is highlighting the selected face, and then I go to face to keep. I select this face as face to keep, it is highlighting in this blue color, and then click on OK. And now we can see in this geometry the face has been removed and we have kept this face. In this way we use this union trim. Hello friends, in this lecture we will know about transformation features. So we can find this transformation feature command. I go to Insert, and then we can find transformation features. In this we can find translation, rotation, symmetry, mirror, etc. We can also go to the toolbar, click on this View tab, toolbar, go to the bottom and make a check on this transformation features. And we can see the toolbar for transformation. So right now the commands are not highlighting, so we have to create some 3D feature. So I go to File and Open. In this I will open up the file, that is translation 1, and click on Open. In the geometry we can see we have created two pad. This is pad 1 and this is pad 2. On this geometry we are going to use the transformation features. So I go to this transformation toolbar, click on this arrow, and the first command it is highlighting is the translation. This translation is very similar to the 2D translation. I go to this command and click on Yes, and now it is showing vector definition. Vector definition means to specify the direction. Click on this arrow and we can specify direction as direction and distance, point to point, and coordinate. I select direction and distance, and then we need to select a direction. We can select any edge, an axis, or any datum plane for the direction. So let's say I select this edge as a direction. So this geometry will move into this direction and insert the value of distance. So when I increase this distance value, we can see preview that this geometry is now translating. So we can insert the value of distance and click OK. And now we can see the geometry has been translated. Similarly, we have the rotation. So I go to translation toolbar and click on rotation. Click on Yes. For this rotation, we can specify this by axis and angle, axis to element, and 3 point. I select axis and angle. We need to select the axis of rotation. So let's say I select this edge as an axis of rotation. Click on this edge and then specify the angle value. So when I increase this value of angle, so let's say this value 25, and click OK. And now we can see this geometry has been rotated to an angle of 25 degrees. Make a double click on this, rotate from here. In the definition mode, we can select two element. In this two element, we can specify 2 point or any two references that will create an axis. And the third option we have is the 3 point. So we can specify 3 point and those 3 point will be the axis of rotation. I click cancel. Similarly, if I go to translate, this is the translate, double click on this, we have point to point and coordinate. Point to point means we can specify the first point, starting point. So this could be the starting point and then end point. I click cancel from here and then I go to translation, and the third option is symmetry and mirror. We will cover this in the next lecture. In this lecture, we will continue with transformation feature. In the previous lecture, we had learned about translation and rotation. In this lecture, we will learn about mirror and symmetry. So both these commands are very similar to the 2D command. I go to this translation feature and click on this symmetry. In this symmetry, first click on yes. And now we have to select the references. So reference, we can select any plane or any surface. So let's say I select this surface as reference for symmetry. Click on the surface. And now in this preview we can see an exact copy of this feature has been created. I click OK. And now we can see exact copy has been created. So let's see what happens when we will use the mirror feature. I go to mirror command. So in the bottom we have mirror feature. Click on this mirror. Now in this mirror, first of all, we need to select the element. So this mirror element will be the reference. So let's say I want to mirror with respect to this surface. Click on this surface. In the object to mirror, we can select current solid and click on OK. And now it has created an exact copy of that, and it has also mirrored it. Similarly, we can also mirror with respect to any different reference. I go to mirror once again, and then current solid is object to mirror. We can select a different solid, just select the solid from here, and then mirroring element, I select this surface and click OK. So in this way we can see we can create the mirror feature. Hello friends, in this lecture we will know about patterns. Patterns are used to create multiple copies of a same geometry. We can find the pattern tool in the transformation feature. So right now the command is hidden. In the pattern we have different types of pattern such as rectangular, circular and user pattern. So we are going to start with this rectangular pattern. To understand this, I go to pad and then we need to select a plane. So click on fit view and I select any plane. So click on this and then I select this top plane, that is XY plane. Onto this plane I draw a rectangle. So we can draw this rectangle of any dimension. Draw a rectangle like this and then exit workbench, give it some height. So let's say I take this value 2. Okay, 3 is good and click OK. Onto this pad I will create another feature. So go to pad once again, select surface. So I select this top surface. Onto this surface I draw a circle. Okay, draw a circle like this from here and click on exit workbench. Give it some height. So height 3 is good and click OK. So in this way we have created a feature onto the pad 1. Now we are going to pattern this. So let's rotate it like this and then go to transformation toolbar and click on this rectangular pattern. Click on this. Now in this window, the first thing it is showing first direction. So for the pattern we can specify maximum 2 directions. First of all I am specifying the first direction and then it is showing parameters. In the parameters we have some option like number of instances and length, instances and spacing. So I will start with this instances and spacing. Number of instance, let's say I want 4, spacing I want 1. Okay, then we need to select the reference element and then this is the reference element. So I select this H as reference. In the object to pattern I will select this pad 2. So click on this cylindrical body. Okay, we need to increase this spacing. So let's increase this value of spacing. Okay, 4 is good. We can take 5 and click on OK. And now we can see same copy of that cylinder has been created by using the rectangular pattern. And the spacing between each of the instances is 5. And we have created 4 instances. I go to rectangular pattern once again, double click on this. We can also reverse the direction. Just click on reverse and direction will reverse. And then we can specify this as number of instances and length. So when we take this option, the complete length will be considered. So number of instances 4 and the complete length we can take like this. Similarly, we can also specify it as spacing and length. So by this we can specify the distance between the instances and length. Similarly, we can also specify unequal spacing. So right now I am taking instances and spacing. If I click on this more option, we can specify the position of object. So row in direction 1 and then direction 2, we can specify a rotational angle for this. And if I increase this value, row in direction 1, so we can increase the number of rows. So right now we have not specified any direction 2. So it is not taking the pattern in direction 2. Okay, and then we can specify the angular value. For the angular value, we need a reference. I click cancel. And then once again go to rectangular pattern. I click on second direction. For the second direction, let's say I give this edge as a direction. So click on this reference element. I select this edge as a direction 2. Number of instances, let's increase this value. So it is taking the instances in this direction. We need to reverse it. Click on reverse. And then spacing. So the spacing I take 2. Okay, we can take 3. And then increase this value 4 and we can take 5 and click OK. And now we can see the pattern has been created in both directions. So I go to rectangular pattern once again, double click. I click on more. Now we can increase rows, number of rows in direction 1 and direction 2. So it will increase number of rows like this. Similarly in the direction 2. So we can do this according to our requirement. I am taking this value 1. And now I can also insert the rotational angle. So when I increase this value of angle, let's say this is 25 and increase this. So now we can see in this preview, the patterns are created at a specified angle. We can also click on this staggered. So rotational angle I want 0. Okay, so 0. And then we have option of staggered. Make a check on this. So staggered option will highlight. We can select the type of staggered we want. We can make it like a diamond shape and we can make it like this shape. So we can specify the staggered step value and increase and then create a staggered. I am making uncheck on this and click OK. So in this way we can create the rectangular patterns. In this lecture we will continue with pattern command and we will know about circular pattern. Circular pattern is used when we have circular features. So I go to this pad option and then I will select a plane. So click on fit view and then isometric. I select this XY plane. Onto this plane I draw a circle. So we can take this circle of any value and then give it some height. So let's say I take this value 2, click OK. And then once again I go to pad, select this top surface and I will draw one more circle. So I draw a circle like this and then give it some height. So I take this value 3 and click OK. So in this way we have created two features. Onto these two features I will create the pattern. So I go to pattern and I select circular pattern. Onto this pattern we have two options, axial reference and crown definition. In the parameter we have number of instances, angular spacing, then angular spacing and total angle. And we have more options. So I select this instances and angular spacing. So we need to select the reference element. reference element we can select this outer surface. Click on this outer surface and then we need to select the number of instances. So I take this number of instances, let's say I want 6 like this, and the angular spacing, let's say I take 30 degree. Okay, not 30, I want 60 degree, and then click on OK. And now we can see circular pattern has been created. So once again I go to circular pattern, make a double click, and then I go to parameter. In the parameter we can specify number of instances and total angle, then angular spacing and total angle, then instances and unequal angular spacing. So I'm taking this as a default, and then I go to this crown definition. In the crown definition we have some similar parameters. So circles I want 2. Okay, now it is showing current solid. So the object to pad is, I select this circle, this smaller circle, I select this cylinder. Okay, and then now the direction is going outward, and the circle spacing I want 2, let's say, or we can take 3. So if you want to make it inward, we can insert the negative value. I insert negative value and then click OK. And then it has also created pattern on the inward direction. So once again go to circular pattern and we have option of more. In this more, similarly we can insert rows in angular direction, rows in radial direction, and then we can make it staggered, and then it is radial alignment. So I am making this less, and the crown definition we can increase or decrease the value, and then click OK. So in this way we can insert the circular pattern. In this lecture we will continue with pattern command, and we will know about next type of pattern, that is user pattern. With user pattern command we can create pattern with respect to a reference point. To understand this, I go to file and click on open, and open up this file, that is user pattern, and click on open. In this file we can see we have created a pad. Onto this pad we have created a pocket, and we can see we have this cut section. Onto this pocket we have created an edge fillet. So when I go to the sketch option, click on the sketch and then go to the geometry, and we can see we have also created the datum points. So to show the points, go to the sketch, right click and click on show hide. And now we can see all the points are showing. And now we are going to create the user pattern. To create the user pattern, first of all we need to select the elements. So I select this pocket, hold down the control key, and I select this edge fillet. So both the elements are selected, and then I go to user pattern. In this user pattern it is showing the object to pattern, and now we can see 2 elements. And now we have to specify the positions. For the position we need to select the points. I click on point, and now in this preview it is showing the pattern, and I click OK. And now we can see the pattern has been created on all the points. In the pattern both edge fillet and pockets are created. So once again I go to user pattern, make a double click, and then if we don't want the pattern on any of the point, we just have to make a click on that point. Let's say I click on this point, and similarly this point, and click OK. So now the pattern is not created onto this point. So in this way we can create the user patterns. In this lecture we will know how to explode the patterns. Explode pattern is used when we want to edit or make some changes into the pattern. To understand this, I go to this file, click on open, and we have created this pattern, that is rectangular pattern. Open this pattern. In this we have already created the rectangular pattern of this pad, and now we are going to make some changes into this. So let's say I want to make some changes into this pattern, only the single part of this pattern. So right now we cannot make any change because in the model tree there is no option for this pattern. To make some changes into this single pattern, I go to this rectangular pattern, make a right click and then go to this object, and then there is an option of explode. Select this explode, and now we can see this pattern is expanded. In this we can see we have multiple pads. So all these pads are exploded, and we can select any of the pad to make some changes. So let's say I select this pad, and this pad is highlighting, so this is pad 5. To make some changes, make a double click on this, and then pad dialog window will open. In this dialog definition window, we can make some changes wherever we want. If you want to make some changes into the sketch, click on this edit sketch, and then we can change the value of this radius. I click on exit workbench, and let's say I want this length to be 4, and click OK. And now we can see this pattern has been changed. Similarly, we can make some more changes into the other patterns.